Welcome to Fat Wallets 101. I want to do a quick video before I start this project. Right now, this morning, I'm going to start the process of converting a 1-bedroom into a 2-bedroom. And stay tuned for that video. I'm going to do that because it increases the rental income and it allows you to bring up the value on your home. Okay. I haven't been making a lot of videos, honestly, because I'm trying to be careful with what I post. I do work for a hospital. I am in leadership. So I don't want to post things. It's COVID right now. I don't want to post things that's going to get myself in trouble. But back to investment tips and strategy. You really have to invest in your health. Health is wealth. Without being healthy, you can't do anything. You can't provide for your family. You can't enjoy your family. You might be a burden to your family, if anything. I was recently diagnosed with COVID. I have the antibodies now. Yes, but I was diagnosed with COVID, negative now, and it wasn't a good feeling. That you can't go around people. You feel bad. You're not at your optimal state and you can't do too much. So whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better, those herbal remedies, I'm sure you heard of it by now, the steaming methods, the cayenne pepper with the garlic and ginger, those things really work. Those things have some kind of truth behind it. So you have to make sure that you do what's best for you to keep yourself healthy, okay? Just because the gym is closed doesn't mean you cannot exercise at home. Doesn't mean you can't walk. Still practice social distancing, but you can still walk. You can still do exercise at home. Or I see some people doing exercises in the park. You can still do that. So make sure you invest in your health, right? Now, I did just mention I work in a hospital. Without giving away too much information, I did see, to keep it short, brief, and not to get myself in trouble, the COVID-19, right? It's drastically increasing. For a lot of my healthcare workers out there, I'm sure no one will disagree. Your ERs, and I'm in the ER, is probably more or less dead, right? And when I say dead, I mean there's not a lot of patients. People are scared to come in, and we don't have a lot of COVID patients coming in that was as sick. We have people coming in for testing, right? So with that said, some people still go, hey, well, real estate prices going to drop 20-30%? Is it a good time to buy stock? There's a lot of layoffs. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I'm a firm believer of what Warren Buffett said before. You got to be a shark when everyone else is scared, right? There's a lot of money being floated around. And I believe wealth is never, it doesn't disappear, right? So if you're saying COVID-19 is going to be a crash, there's a lot of people, and I've been sitting back and watching and reading, there's a lot of crash and this big Armageddon style thing coming. Like, if you want to believe that, fine, right? I'm a strong believer that wealth is transferred. So that's what's happening right now. The rich is getting richer, right? And the poor is getting poorer, straight up, right? The government has stepped in to kind of intervene. They're buying stocks, they're sending stimulus checks. But this doesn't mean that you just need to sit home and say, yeah, I got the 12. And by the way, they just passed another bill, $1,200 stimulus for you and $1,200 for a child, for each child. The maximum is $6,000 right now, okay? But that doesn't mean you sit home and just collect unemployment, right? And your stimulus and you're cool, right? You can still actively start looking for a job, even though you're making more on unemployment, because eventually, and it's already happening right now. What is it today? It's May the 15th. States are reopening. Things are reopening. People are like, yo, I can't stay at home. They're going crazy and they want to make money and they want to do things with their lives. Things are reopening, right? So if you want to sit on the sidelines and just go, I'm not doing anything, when things reopen, when you can no longer collect unemployment, what's going to happen? right? You placed yourself in that position. You have to be proactive while you're at home. Do things like brush up on your resume. Maybe try to learn a new skill or trade. There's things you can do. There's no reason why you should be sitting at home doing nothing. Maybe do get to the garden or do some household work that you put on the side. These things that you can do to be proactive, right? So is it a good time to buy stocks? Now, the Feds are manipulating the stock market right now. Is it a good time? Of course. Of course it's a good time. You just have to know which stocks to buy. Like I said, you have to follow the trend. If you don't follow the trend, you'll be left behind. So, for instance, Zoom. Zoom has picked up, right? Zoom has picked up. Would I buy it? No. But Zoom has picked up for reasons I wouldn't buy it. Zoom has picked up. Follow what people's buying. 3M, they're producing a lot of masks, face shields, Clorox. Clorox is the one I would buy. Clorox is Clorox. Everyone's always going to be cleaning. And I believe even though COVID is dying down in the fall time, that's when we're going to get hit. We're really going to get hit because we're going to have the flu and COVID-19 at the same time. So is it a good time to buy stocks? Yes. You just cannot buy any and every stock. You have to do your homework, your research. Look at the 52-week high. Look at the 52-week low. Look at the graphs. See what's going on. Look at the trading value, the market cap. You have to analyze a stock before you buy it, right? Is it a good time to buy a house? If you're sitting on money right now and you don't buy a house, I am sorry for you. This is one of those opportunities where you can negotiate. I want to say it again, please buy a house, right? This is one of those opportunities where you can negotiate on buying a house. Rates are at its all-time lows. It's not negative for houses, by the way, so get that thought off your head, right? It will never go negative for a house. It will go low. So you're looking at like a 2.7 to 3.0 rate, and you get to negotiate the purchase price of the house. You cannot get better. Family, you cannot get better. You cannot get better than the time right now. Listen to what I said. Interest rates are low. You can get a 2.7 to 3% depending on your credit. So you're getting one of the lowest rates, and you can negotiate the price of a house right now because people are fearful, right? There's less competition right now when it's usually peaked. I'm in New York. I don't know where you're at, but house prices are not dropping, but you can still negotiate because others are fearful. So you can negotiate your house price and still get a good rate. You cannot beat that, right? Here's why I will also say buy a house, right? If you can afford it. Because the stipulations and the conditions to buying or investing will become more strict. They will look for a stricter credit score. They will make sure you can't use the rental income. They're going to look to make sure you have 20% down payment. The down payment are going to go higher. Your DTI is going to have to be near perfect. Like, there are going to be conditions that's good, and that stands for debt to income ratio. The restrictions are going to become tighter. So you might have the money, but you don't have the credit score. You might have the credit score, but don't have the money. You might not have the proper DTI, or you may just not be employed, right? So if you have cash, if you have a job, if you can afford to make a purchase, right? You do it now. Do it now because you're not going to get another chance, right? There's a strong possibility. What happens when everything is open back up? People forget about COVID. What is going to happen? You're going to be left holding the stick. Now you got to compete. Now you can't negotiate a price because the sellers is fixed on their price. Look at what's happening right now. You're excited over a stimulus check. Think beyond that. You're excited over these little checks, these hazard pay, whatever. Look beyond that. Look beyond that. The price, when you go grocery shopping, has increased drastically. What do you think is going to happen? House prices will have to go up. Rent will have to go up. I don't know who's saying it's going to come down. Like I said, I'm from New York. I can't speak for everywhere else. Manhattan will take a hit. These overpriced houses at $3 million and $4 million will take a hit. there's not going to be a lot of people that can afford those. There's going to be a lot of people scared to invest. But you're talking about like in Brooklyn where you could purchase a 2-family, 850, 800. My boy Rob closing on one. Shout out to Rob. I told you I was going to do it for you, man. But it's still cheap. And I argue with this guy. It's still cheap. These places are not going to drop, right? You have to get in when you can negotiate and get a good rate. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but stay tuned for the project where I turn this 1-bedroom into a 2-bedroom. Like, subscribe, hit me up with any questions you have, and enjoy your Saturday. Bye-bye.